everybody, to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. We're back again. We're discussing Bachelor Season 25, Episode 9. The shittiest show, the biggest shithouse of a show, since Shitty McShittalot shat his way to the top of the shit Olympics, Chris. Are we done with this show yet?
No, because we're doing it every time it's on, David. That is not the attitude to have. However, I do agree. This episode was a fucking shit show, my friend, of the highest proportion. We got the VT. It was filmed on the 4th of February, everyone, just in case for, the controversy that's gone after this, Chris Harrison and all the other stuff, quite rightly addressed. He's still there, Dave. However, nobody's learned a fucking thing of what they've seen of themselves in these last few weeks, Dave. Now, there's only one place to start for me, Dave. Where do you want to start?
Well, I was going to start with the first confrontation. I was going to start with Jasenia and MJ, because I know there is one person who hasn't learned a fucking thing, Chris, which I know you're probably itching to get to. But, I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. That ABC have fallen short for me with all of this. And for me, putting that little, this was previously recorded, so don't abuse us because, we've kind of shot this stuff and so we have to show it now, so they're almost apologizing without actually coming out and apologizing. It's too short for me. But anyway, getting on to Jasenia and MJ, again, all I saw here was, Chris Harrison put Jasenia on the spot straight away. Apparently MJ, all she did was, what did she say she was doing? She wasn't being fake. Oh, she owned it. That was it. She owned everything straight away. She went and told Matt. I think this must have been in the deleted scenes, Chris, because I didn't see any of this. I didn't see her owning shit. But there was plenty of people kind of sticking up for MJ. I think Mari says, I shared a room with her and, she is absolutely not fake. So I think people are getting hung up on the fake thing there. But, I mean, we'd called her out for a few episodes before she actually went, before this thing with Jasenia blowed. Great bit of English there for you, Chris. Blew up. And she came across like an utter mean girl and a bully. So she got what she deserved for me, but she doesn't see it that way, clearly.
No, Dave, and she wasn't the only one on this episode. MJ and all the others are fucking deluded. If you can call yourself a strong character with strong views, when really what you mean is, I'm a fucking bitch and I don't give a fuck what you think, I'm just going to be mean to you, then there is MJ in one fell swoop, Dave, because she's horrid. She's absolutely horrid. And she's not the worst one on the episode. I would say there was a little bit of relief later on, but with MJ herself, Dave, it was just again a snowball. When they're all together, they're just toxic. There's 4 or 5 of them together, and they're just horrid people. Look, I'm not saying that other people, we didn't see everything that was filmed. We got little snippets tonight again, which was better to see a bit more real life stuff of Matt and some of the girls, some of the outtakes, some of the daft things that they did. That's like you said last week. It's the real stuff we want to see, not this fucking pre-produced bollocks where everyone's on cue. Like, can you just do that again? Can you walk it? Can you say that again? All like Towie shit, absolute nonsense. Towie, by the way, for anyone who's not in the UK, is The Only Way is Essex. It's a reality show, which is just not even reality. It's just completely fake. And very, like The Hills, Dave. Sam used to watch The Hills, so it's like that, and for American listeners. But genuinely, she's horrid. And Jasenia was right what she was saying. MJ just having none of it. And what I find ridiculous, Dave, with Chris Harrison and that, especially in this day and age, is the show actively wants bullies on it. It does. Yeah. It don't care what you say. I'm not saying you disagree with me, but it does. It actually wants people. We all want a bit of drama. You know me, I'm like, oh, I'd love a bit of a punch up and that. It's all tongue-in-cheek. I don't want to see anybody get chinned or smacked or anything, but you want a bit of a scuffle where like the bouncers come on or there's something going off, something like, oh my God, but you know that nobody's been hurt, more pride's been hurt than anything. But Chris Harrison just completely gets the fucking lighter fluid out and just stokes them flames. Look, I like the show. I like the ridiculousness of it. It's been pathetic watching some of these women here, and they're not even women, the girls, Dave, the way they act. But I can't get past the fact that the more I watch this tonight, it was all about bullying, and I find it ridiculous that he never interjected and really stepped in and backed some of the girls up.
No, and it got to a ridiculous level for me when I'm going to come back to that. So stick a pin in that. But the insincerity of it, Chris, of all the shows that we've covered, I find this one the most problematic and toxic out of all the shows that we've done. And we have reviewed some bottom feeder shows, haven't we? We
Yep.
have reviewed some proper trash TV. Chris, Too Hot to Handle had more morals than this fucking Bachelor shit does.
Dave, fucking Labour of Love did, and that was about impregnating a woman. That was the end
Well,
goal
that was
of the
just
show.
a fucking spin-off Bachelor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
With the fucking first episode, having them all fucking giving a
Pulling one
semen
off.
sample. Yeah,
Pulling one
go in
off.
there and pull your pud. So
Here's your copy of Debbie Does Dallas. Go on, see what you can do. You've got 10 minutes. Fucking hell. You've been fucking there for about half an hour. Dave. You've been ripping your shoulder out if you're under pressure like that.
Oh, but let me come back to the insincerity of Chris Harrison in a bit. The next bit that they tackled was when the five girls come in. So, this is the first time apparently this had happened. Ryan, says that it was a rough start, and, she seems to single out Victoria, and she was at the forefront. That's exactly what we saw. Again, Chris, talking about people who haven't learned anything at all. Victoria turns it around. So Ryan had been called a hoe by Victoria because she's a dancer. And Victoria asks Ryan, are you sensitive? In a real fucking condescending way. And she turns it back, she makes it about her then. She's like, oh, I've had all this hate on social media and it's fine with me, and blah, blah, fucking blah. It was really annoying. But then it seemed to be equal as well. You still got this Mean Girls camp, people who are quite happy to stick up for Victoria. But in that moment, I just felt, Victoria's learned nothing there. And again, I don't think any of them had. Trying to turn it round that it was all about it. It wasn't, the problem wasn't Victoria. The problem was Ryan being offended by a little joke there.
Dave, you call someone, I think it was a cheap ass hoe or something like that, and she's being sensitive. Hello, McFly. Yeah. You know what Victoria is, Dave? This is Chris's analogy now, my analogy. Victoria's the type of person who would slap you across the face, and as soon as you slapped her back, she'd be the first one to go and ring the police up and go, oh my God, I've just been slapped. No, hello. What did you do to get someone to slap? She is just so ridiculous. She cannot see when she's being a bitch. She's not learned a thing. And I don't condone death threats because that's what she was insinuating. She mentioned it, but we didn't actually go into it. And that's fine. I don't agree with that, whatever I think of her as a person. However, a lot of the backlash she got online, Dave, and I don't like online bullying or anything, but she brought a lot of it on herself, and she's going to keep doing it. People watched that tonight, and they're going to be watching it going, oh, she's not learned a thing. You know what I mean? She did it. We had the beef with Katie, but you've got Serena C, who I think's as vicious as MJ and Victoria. I really do. Selena C is she's wicked as well. She went at it. So then we get the Victoria Katie beef. A bit of interaction.
Oh, okay. I want to stick on that though. So don't skip over it.
Okay.
Go on. You get a bit of interaction. What were you going to say there?
Yeah. A bit of interaction between them. And obviously Victoria, Katie, Dave, there's no doubt about it. Katie's the next Bachelorette. The way they built her up tonight, and she had her own little segment with Chris Harrison, 100%. She's definitely, and the way she was dealing with herself, it's like she'd been preened before, proper told what to say and where to steer the conversation. It was too polished for me, Dave. She's definitely going to be the Bachelorette, like the reality Steve had leaked on a few weeks ago. It without doubt for me. But the whole Victoria and Katie thing, again, Victoria not got a clue. And Serena went at her. There was a few others went at her. Just horrid, Dave. Horrid to watch.
You know, I think though with that whole beef with Victoria, what I found really fascinating was how many of the other girls ganged up on Katie.
Yeah, yeah,
And it wasn't just the traditional mean girls. Chelsea was sticking the boot in as well. Piper was sticking the boot in. So, and it was like they were all getting at Katie because she'd created this toxicity by telling Matt.
yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it, Chris. I was watching it and I was just thinking, am I the only one who's seeing this? Are they for fucking real? They're basically saying because you went and told Matt, you created the problem. She
Yeah.
didn't create the fucking problem. You know what this reminds me of, Chris? There was a brilliant South Park episode, and it was as they do, they nail satire brilliantly, and it was about like the Catholic Church, and this priest he goes to Rome and he brings up the case that there's lots of cases of child abuse that keep getting reported and it's got out of control. And then they're all sat around saying, yes, 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 we have to find a way to fix this problem. Yes, 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 we need to fix the problem. We need to figure out how we stop these children telling on us. And the priest is like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not the problem. That is not the problem. That's not the root cause. The root cause is you doing this shit in the first place. That's how I found all those fucking girls tonight were getting on at Katie for telling Matt about how toxic and what a bullying environment it was. So I found that again, I'm disgusted by it, but I'm also fascinated by it as well because they obviously they lived through it. They've watched the edited show back, and they've still come to that conclusion. They haven't said, you know what, Serena C hasn't come back and said, you know what, I came off like a right dick there. I didn't realize, I need to have a long, hard look at myself in the mirror, and I don't like the person that I saw, so I'm going to have to do something about that. None of them. They were all convinced Katie was the problem.
Yeah, you know what, Dave, and I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot that with Chelsea. And Chelsea had not done anything wrong when we'd watched the series before she left. But that comment dropped my jaw. That was the old Scooby Doo. I would have got away if it weren't for them pesky kids. It's like
Yeah,
exactly what you just said, exactly the same. I was like, so we're condoning bullying now, and as long as you don't get caught out or someone finds out, we're
yeah,
fine with that. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine. If that's the life you want to lead, then it's no fucking wonder Matt didn't pick any of yous. The more I watched this episode, I was like, Matt made so many good decisions with these people. He really did, because some of them are fucking horrid. I mean, Chelsea, I've never had a bad word to say about her. I didn't really have any beef with her at all through the show. We didn't really see a lot. She seemed quite genuine. But the fact that she came out with that statement, and I don't know whether her wording was incorrect, but it was just like, wow, you have made an absolute cock up for me. And
Yeah.
I will give Victoria slack, Dave, as much as what I said about MJ and that. She did apologise to Katie. And whether it was sincere, it looks sincere. Whether it is, I don't know. But Katie did go back at them. And I'm not adverse to the fact that Katie may, Dave, have just been very clever. She's watched the shows previously and she's played the game and she's played all of them. And now they're all gutted going, oh, shit, she's done us. You know what I mean? But she may be, but what she spoke to Matt about that I saw was correct. I'm not saying if she's done something else, but
None of them said in that about a conversation, that happened off air or anything.
no.
None of them talked about anything like that. There were no clues that, there was a lot more kind of devious play about Katie. I think someone said, like, well, how did you think that would affect your relationship with Matt? As if to say, are you trying to clear the decks? Are you trying to get rid of everyone so, there's only you left? I'm just amazed, Chris, how that was all spun. So I'm not leaving the door open like that. I don't think. I think it's just people forgiving themselves, seeing it with rose-tinted specs, what they've done, and blaming the wrong person for the wrong fucking problem. Don't be such a bunch of arseholes, Chris.
That's true.
And then there's no problem. Don't be a dick. Hashtag don't be a dick. So
yeah.
right, so right. Then they get up Brittany. Now, I'm going to redirect my venom, Chris, because I feel like I've come in hot today.
Yeah.
You get Brittany, and old fucking Chris Harrison there, he's so empathetic, isn't he? Let's talk about that moment when you were accused, of being a high-end escort. So not only did people show it on the show, but we're going to create a little spotlight for it right here on this segment here. And so they showed Anna talking about the rumors and stuff and telling Victoria. And actually, I did feel in that moment that Anna's apology looked sincere to me. But what I would say is, I don't know if you noticed the comment that Brittany said, since the show finished, she hadn't heard from Anna. They're obviously both in Chicago. They both have some friends that are the same by the sounds of it. So the fact that she hasn't done it before, leaves a doubt in my mind whether it was sincere. But it did look sincere to me, and unlike Victoria, it was unreserved. There was no caveats. There was no trying to excuse it by something or other. Now the problem I have with this, Chris. So Anna was absolutely in the wrong here, and we saw it and we called it out for the episode. She was right to be sent home. And Matt, later on, he was fairly gracious, wasn't he, in saying, "Look, we've all said stupid shit, and you." That doesn't make you a terrible person, but you have to be accountable for what you've done as well. So he was absolutely standing by the decision to send her home, and he was right. The problem I have with all of this is the villain I don't think is Anna. She said something stupid. She's created these toxic rumors. How many people, Chris, are in that supply chain going from the cameraman through the producers, through the editors, through all these chains of approval, make sure it's all okay to be shown on TV? There are probably tens of people who work on The Bachelor who have pushed that forward as a storyline. This could have all been avoided if they're that fucking empathetic. And like Chris Harrison saying, "Oh, I'm sorry you had to go through this and stuff." It was just a conversation in the house until they decided to make a highlight of it in the show and make it a big feature in the show. And now in Women Tell All, they're going to highlight it all again. And he's saying, this is so terrible. So terrible. Great fucking TV, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really true, because at the end of the day, it's talking about Anna, and Brittany had said quite rightly, her mum watches this, what the hell am I going to do? You broke me. Why don't you apologise? And I agree. I think Anna's apology was sincere, Dave. But I do, and she had no excuse. I like the fact that she did say, "I just said it." I did have people messaging me and blah, blah, blah. But that's what I said to you about the fakeness of the show, because she wasn't even in the show at the start. So she obviously knew she was coming in, Anna, sorry. Brittany was coming in. So it's like, when I said to you at the time when she came in, it's like, well, if you'd have messages, she wasn't even in your group at the start. So we all know, well, that's bullshit. I agree. Again, condoning bullying. What they should have done for me is fucked Anna off, kicked her out, and not even mentioned what happened, and just said she's broken the code of the Bachelor show.
Yeah.
It's gone. By doing what they've done, that Brittany could have literally done something really drastic because of the show, Dave. And you're right, it's all about ratings at the end of the day, and that's what this did. It got a lot of people talking online. It opened the debate, opened the channels even more. I didn't think someone like Victoria would get overshadowed, but really for me, that is probably the worst thing that I've seen on this show, and probably any of the shows, to be honest.
Speaking of Victoria, she was laying into Anna.
No.
She was on a moral high horse, and going on at Anna. I'm like, really? So God, again, but no, like I say, it seemed like Brittany had accepted the apology. It did seem sincere, but if you pissed off at anyone, you pissed off at this fucking show. For basically, treading over human souls to get ratings. I my level of distaste for this fucking show, Chris. I'm not sure if it's reached the ceiling yet, but it feels like it has. But anyway, I'll tell you what we did see. something a bit more fun. We saw a hide and seek kind of group date that for some
Yeah.
reason wasn't shown for us.
Yeah.
We found out that Kit is clearly shit at it. So we also saw, the people were eating raw eggs. Again, Katie threw up at that point, and MJ says, eggs are my worst fear. You know what my worst fear is, Chris? Being, if I'm on a boat in the Pacific Ocean or something and it sinks and I get eaten by a fucking shark. That is my worst fear. I'm not sure you can match that up against eggs.
Oh no, Dave, if you've ever opened a raw egg that's gone off, they're fucking minging. Oh God, the smell is disgusting. But yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Now, Dave, we mentioned Katie. As I said, she got a little bit of airtime. I'm completely convinced that she's already been polished and they're already lining her up for the Bachelor. If it's not the next one, the one after, she's definitely not leaving the Bachelor Nation. However, the stuff they shown, great. The different things showed, obviously, the old magic wand, rampant rabbit she brought in, Dave, with 4 new batteries. And Victoria, to be fair, when they were having the ding dong, Victoria again mentioned the vibrator. And I'm like, look, if you've got one, you've got one. I'm sure Victoria has, Dave. But the fact that Katie brought it up.
It's the fucking, it's the hypocrisy. Of course Victoria's got one. And there's nothing fucking wrong with it. But
Exactly.
Fucking hell, Chris.
I know. If there isn't anything wrong with that, it's life at the end of the day, Dave. We all have to get our kicks some way, so there's not wrong with that. But what I would say is Katie was genuinely upset that Matt, and that might play into what some of the other girls are saying about telling tales. However, I felt it was dead weird and you said it was more a friendship thing, but when he binned Katie off, I wasn't expecting that. We'd seen the leak, haven't we, earlier saying that. Don't click on this, and as usual, like touching a wet paint thing, I clicked on it, and everything that Reality Steve said was fucking correct. So.
Beware, this is a spoiler. Click. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. The fact that we both did it as well.
I know. Anyway, 40 fucking odd years old, and we're still falling for the oldest trick in the book, Dave.
Yeah, but no, I agree. She did seem really upset, and she seemed to suggest that was the first time she was absolutely being herself. She wasn't making any compromises for anyone else. Seemed to be, quite upset the fact that she's 30 and single. I'm not as convinced as you are that she's the next Bachelorette, but she'd probably be on Bachelor in Paradise or something like that as a minimum. In fact, all the girls who were spotlighted, I reckon, will show up on another Bachelor show.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry. I do agree with that. I was just going to say we're going to talk about Abigail. I thought that was really sweet. Her whole story and everything. I thought, what a lovely person she is.
She does seem like a lovely person, and I can't help but out of all of the bullies on this show, someone who I do feel genuine sympathy for is Abigail, because she seemed to get a fucking shitty end of the stick, didn't she? Yeah. She had an immediate connection. She got the first impression rose, and then she didn't really get any look in after that. She didn't get a one-on-one date, so she was left behind. And Matt's done okay on certain situations that have been thrown at him, but I think back to that weak ass excuse about basically I felt so comfortable with us, I decided to explore relationships with other people, because I was so comfortable with you, but they've moved ahead and we haven't. Of course they fucking haven't. You didn't take her on a date, for fuck's sake. So she's definitely been shafted, and I just think she'll probably be on Bachelor in Paradise, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. And it was great that she'd had a lot of support from the deaf community, whether it's people, parents who've got children going through it and that. I thought it was really good.
That was, in the sea of shit that this show is, Chris, there were a few moments. And actually that was quite heartwarming, wasn't it? Seeing all of the other people coming back and saying, my kid is, looks up to you and whatever. No, that was really good, to be fair.
No, it was. And then obviously you had Piper, Dave. She showed her VT and she'd sort of been thinking that she was on with Matt. And she said to him she was falling in love, and Mr. Vanilla Matt, like he said with all of them, was, I think I'm falling in love with you, or whatever he keeps saying. The same line week after week, hour after hour. And again, another one bites the dust. But then it comes to Serena P, Dave, doesn't it? And she's
Yeah.
the one who basically switched it. And I've got to give her full credit, Dave, because you know what? I might double down on something that you've just said, actually. I may actually agree with you. It's more than likely that Serena P might be the Bachelorette, Dave, because she was strong enough to go, you know what? You're not my guy. I'm gone. That might be the
Mm.
narrative for the next season, Dave. I know we'd seen stuff about. The only reason I'm saying Katie is because I'd seen stuff online saying they think they're lining them up. But Serena P would be the one who would possibly get it because she just went, nope, you're not for me. I'm walking away.
That is a good story, isn't it? That would
Mm.
be a good story for the producers to try and spin there. So, yeah, I fully. Yeah, it's a strong, strong decision because she clearly has feelings for Matt, but she's got a lot of doubts as well.
Yes.
She said he's not her person. And again, I just felt like Harrison. I don't know if I'm just seeing now that everything he does is tainted, but I almost feel like, you're breaking some sort of code. If you dare break the harem, if you walk away from the harem, that's a terrible thing to do,
Yeah.
It should be Matt's choice as the bachelor to bin, off 30 fucking one people. And so, yeah, she was clearly upset, and I think she definitely had feelings for him. And a very brave thing. We were laughing about people on here for the right reasons. So the path of least resistance would have been for her to go through hometowns and everything. Oh, they've been through hometowns, sorry. Go through the fantasy suites and everything, and get to the end. Take the engagement, take the OK magazine deals, all of that, and then say, you know what? Nah, it's just not right for me. 6 months down the line, do what all of them fucking do, or most of them do, and just say, yeah, we split up because of our differences. That would have been the easiest thing for her to do, I think. So, yeah, it is a braver decision. And I hadn't actually thought of Serena P being the Bachelorette, but I think that is a pretty damn good shout, Chris. I think you might be right there.
It's not very often you say that, Dave. But anyway,
It's better than your Burnley prediction. All that's all. That's
well,
all I'll say about that.
fuck off, Dave. Anyway, right. So Dave, I'll tell you what. Now I know who James Harden is. He's a basketball player, and Matt came out with a beard. Didn't like it, Dave. Don't think it suits him. If I'm being honest, I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, the girls seem to like it. I mean, personally, I thought I felt it was a bit uneven because he had a big bushy beard, but then his hair was like trimmed really short. And I don't know. It was just odd. We've watched him for weeks now, haven't we? And he's very clean shaven and everything. So, and I'd seen pictures up online and stuff about it. But when he actually walks in, it's still a bit jarring. It's like, well, a bit of a different look. So, yeah, I don't know. Good luck to him. It's fucking lockdown, isn't it?
Well, yeah, true. I think for me personally, as a style icon, Dave, that I am, I would have had it a little bit shorter, the beard. I think it works. It was a little bit like you say. It seemed to be. If he's got a ZZ Top beard with a skinhead, that'd look good. Probably that'd probably suit him a bit longer.
Maybe that's what he's going for.
Could be. It could be. When we see him next, he might have a full ZZ Top beard. But I just didn't think at the moment he looked very. He's so polished and slick and good looking, and the way he dresses and that, he's proper. Got it on. He's got a great body and everything. And I just, when he come out, I was like, and we'd seen it last week, obviously, I was like, holy shit, yeah. I personally don't think it was just a bit too long. But, sorry, what I was going to say is, I give Matt a lot of credit tonight, Dave, because he tackled all the girls, even the mean ones, head on, and he gave them all a bit of a thing, he was all nice to every one of them, even Victoria, Dave. And I, you know what, I give him credit for that.
No, he was brilliant, wasn't he? Proper. Yeah. He should get a job in politics or something because he somehow managed to say the right thing in those particular moments tonight. I couldn't think of one thing that he said that was bad. I was utterly confused. Victoria still feels like she's been hard done to and was getting quite teary. Couldn't quite tell if that was fake or not. But yeah, he had nothing but good things to say about her. So yeah, fair play, Matt. I can't really say any more than that. He's done well, but I kind of just want to know who's won now, even though we think we know who's won anyway, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do, to be fair. And obviously, I did like the fact, though, Dave, that, they alluded to, we've got the 3 girls left, and he said something like, it'll change the Bachelor Nation or something. So I don't know what is
really
going to happen.
Fall for that? You're really going to fall? You're going to blow up the Bachelor Nation? This is going to be totally different. This is like no other series you've seen before. Bollocks, Chris.
It's unbelievable. He is just hyping it. He's just hyping it, Dave. Completely hyping it. But anyway, yeah.
He's going to sleep with the 3 remaining girls, and then he's going to choose one of them.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen next week.
Yeah, he is. To be fair, I'll go with Mystic Horrocks there for that one, Dave. I will, to be fair. And no, Dave, we've got a bit of news for everyone, haven't we? So,
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have been more charming tonight. Instead of shitting all over the series that we're covering.
So what we've done, guys, and it's completely, we've got a Patreon that we've just created, and we were like, do we do it? Do we not? And we were like, no, let's, we love the fact that we've got such a good community of people who listen to us, some great friends and things like that. And we've got a couple of tiers on there, 3 tiers we've got, haven't we, Dave? So we start out at tier 1 is just the price of a cup of coffee, keeps the lights on, keeps the show going, makes us improve, hopefully. Which is really good. It helps support me and Dave. Then we've got the second tier, which is, I think it's $7.50, Dave? I think it is. I think it's £5, isn't it? But yeah, I've said it. I think it's $7.50. I'm going to go with pounds anyway, guys. You get your currency change.
I thought it was £5.
It's a £5, but I think it changes it to American dollars is about £7.50, Dave. So
$7.50, you mean?
Yeah, that as well. So I always do that when I go Vegas. I always go, it's only £20. It's like $20, Chris. Yeah, that as well. So anyway, we've got 3 tiers for the actual Patreon, guys. If you do want to support us, you don't have to, but we really, really appreciate it if you would give us some support. The middle tier, again, is basically when you become an executive producer, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. And then the top tier is where me and Dave are going to, every month, we're going to do a one-on show, especially for our tier 3 listeners, a one-off show. And you'll be a producer of the show, and we'll also put you in the show notes, and we'll give you a shout out as well. And also, if you don't want to use Patreon, guys, you can support us through Anchor, which is our podcast hosting site. And we've got a new one this week, Dave. We've got good old Kent Gustafsson, who's actually supporting us, and we want to thank you there, Kent. It's another way, again, if you want to support us, make me and Dave improve. I don't know how we can, but we'll try our best.
I think we can quite a lot. But
yeah, we can, Dave. But no, we just want to thank everyone for your support. We've been asked loads, are you going to start a Patreon? And we weren't sure, what we would do, but we just felt it was the right time. So if you want to support us, we will appreciate all your support and help, guys.
That's awesome. And, we're always going to be putting out free content. That's not going to change. We just want to do something a bit extra. And I think for our first bonus episode, there were 2 things that were joining up. So I actually discovered a reality TV program, which was actually done at my school. Now, I wasn't featured on this for about a millisecond. I'm in the background somewhere, but this was a school where I grew up. So I'm going to make Chris watch it. I've gone back and watched it. This is from 1992, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that.
Good stuff, Dave. Good. So we will. And I've got a few up my sleeve that I've been watching, Dave. Housewives of New Jersey, things like that. So I'm going to get you on that, whether you like it or not, my friend. So no, thank you, guys. And as always, if you want to follow the show at CD Realitycast on social media, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you do like the show, drop us a review, because, Dave, we have got a new review, my friend, haven't we?
We absolutely have. And also, completely unprepared for this one.
I've
Just
got it
bear
in
with
front
me.
of me, Dave, so
Have you
don't
got
you
it?
worry
So
about
go
that.
on.
I have indeed.
It's just a nice short one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, someone's pretty good at flicking through our messages very quickly, Dave. I can't say that I'm prepared, but, I did my best. This one is from AppGirl8989. 5 out of 5, brilliant. Such an entertaining pair with witty and hilarious reality show recaps. Highly recommend. So thank you very much, App Girl. That's really, really nice. If you want to do the same, guys, get over there and drop us a review. Me and Dave will read it out on the show. I want to, again, Dave, brilliant. I want to thank you today, mate. It's been a bit of a classic, and we lead into the last few episodes, and I can't wait, but I also think we're near the end ready.
I think we've got one, haven't we?
Is it one?
It's only the one left, I think.
It'll feel like 2, Dave. It'll probably be about 3 hours long, but yeah, we'll try our best. And then obviously, guys, tomorrow we've got Temptation Island as well, episode 3, and that is definitely kicking off if some of the previews of what I've seen.
Yeah, and so I'm thirsting because honestly, I don't. With all this drama, Chris, and not a lot of the good drama, I don't feel like me personally. I don't feel at my witty best. Whereas Temptation Island, I can just get into that. Big load of junk food and beer. That's what Temptation Island is. And so I actually can't. Next week, honestly, finally The Bachelor is going to be a bit of a slog, but Temptation Island, genuinely can't wait.
That's the one, Dave. Right, guys. Right, Dave, I'll see you next time.
Bye now.